Attention, attention. Do not beat us.
Oh wait,
That was
wait. I don't know what
that
happened.
was my black hat.
Wait.
I need my black friends to come and help me.
Oh, you sent up the flare.
Yeah.
The
This is my hat that I bought from Monet Exchange. So
Oh, wait, which
yeah,
hat is that?
it's just like her dad hat. It has like you can't see it.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I was like, it doesn't say Monet on it. No, it does.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
cool.
does. But it's like it's one of those things where it's like it's my aesthetic. I love things that like have monograms that you can't see. I love that like effect.
Yeah.
I also like I have a friend that gets he's fair complexion and he gets white tattoos.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And like it just looks like a raised,
Yeah.
like almost a whip, but like if you look at it, it's actually a tattoo and it's so cute. I'm so
nice.
jealous of him. But yeah.
Did you see? I mean, speaking of beatdowns, did you watch this?
I watched somebody fuck around and find out. That's what I watched.
Tim, I don't have a big stomach for like real violence. Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like, I Game of Thrones, I can stomach, but when I see like real violence, that makes me queasy.
Like something actually happens in America. Like it's actually happening. No.
Yeah, that makes me. It really upsets my mentality, and I go into a really dark place, and I can't.
Mhm.
Except for when you witness instant karma. When it's instant karma, I'm like, more please.
Listen, I was telling somebody, you know, everybody talks about, you know, oh, karma will get them. Karma will get them. Well, sometimes you have like karma is you. Like,
Right.
You have to be karma.
Bring the karma.
I'm her. Like she's me. And we're gonna get these hands together, and we're gonna bring out folding chairs, and we're gonna bring out our friends.
Okay,
and
for those
and we're gonna.
who
Black,
have not,
if you don't know, black people can swim. Black people swim now.
okay, so for those who are like, what? Just if you're for some reason you don't know what we're talking about the Alabama Riverfront Brawl.
Praise,
Just again,
worship.
I don't condone violence, but if you haven't seen it,
Mercy.
it's
Great.
quite entertaining.
Delicious.
It's amazing. No, that watching that kid jump into the river and do the 100-meter dash and
right. Listen, black man can't swim. They need to make that movie. How about that?
Yes, dun 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 dun. Just jumping right in slow mo.
I just want you to know that. Unfortunately, this is why you your senators and such want to keep their guns because y'all ain't got nothing on our hands.
No,
so let's just be honest.
No, and when it's WWE time, I mean, when it comes to pulling things from out underneath the mats, those chair shots again.
Listen, we're creative. Listen,
yeah,
the beginning, the end.
Just
we don't start it, but we'll finish it.
No, somebody was doing their job.
Yeah,
and some people didn't want to be told no.
And that hat went up in the air.
Oh
and
my
What
gosh!
time it was? I was like, black dad hats, folding chairs. Did you see that? I think it was our friend that posted that there are folding chair like phone holders now.
Yes, there are
folding. I was like, where did Five Below get the gall to just? Five Below was like, we know our audience. We don't have any problems.
I think what's even more poetic justice is that somebody manufactured those as like some kind of weird joke for a phone holder, right?
It was definitely made in China.
and then they saw the video come out. They're like, holy crap! Mark them up $1 or whatever, right?
It was like, it's not below $5. It's gonna be $5 today.
It's gonna be $5.99, bitch.
And guess what? We bought them.
Oh my gosh.
I bought 2.
Did you see all the TikTok videos of people grabbing folding chairs in the aisle?
Yes. It's so fun. I love it. And I hate a folding chair because I'm a fat boy. But like,
no, I never want to say
as a weapon, I'm down.
When it's Shawn Michaels taking it to someone's head, you
know what? That's the weapon of mass destruction right there. Yeah.
It was in the video.
I thought it was my ass, but it turns out it's a folding chair.
It's a folding chair
over your head.
Boop.
And listen, those people who are talking about, oh, you shouldn't hit those ladies shouldn't have gotten in that fight. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I think at some point, if you decide to tag yourself in.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is at that point, everybody can get it that's involved.
Yeah. No, I'm just like, had you just been, I don't know. Yeah, I don't have the thing.
This is the point though. Had you just done what you were supposed to be doing and get to your boat.
Get to your boat and get out.
If you had just gone to your boat and not giving that man any trouble, just what do they love to say? Like, had you not talked to the officer like that, maybe you wouldn't have got your ass beat. Had you not put your hands on that man, you wouldn't have got your ass whooped.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of.
You and your friends, sir. Or they, them, whatever.
Whatever it is. Anyway, go check out those videos, guys. It's
yes.
Again, if you can't stomach violence, it might not be for you, and I don't want to glorify stuff, but again,
it's my favorite kind of yachting.
Tim, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about money.
We're going to talk about money. Trying to get up out of Five Below.
Listen, don't buy from Five Below unless they got folding chairs.
Folding chairs, baby. Grab them up. Hey, Tim, before we get in there, you want to bring us in?
Of course. Hi, I'm Tim.
And I'm Bear, and this is Cub
and Chub.
Let's do it. Yeah.
I'm going to beat your ass with a folding chair. I'm going to beat your ass with a folding chair. At folding chair. At folding chair. Hope I get it from Claire's. Yeah.
Tim, before we start talking about money, cheers.
Cheers to poverty.
Cheers to poverty.
Another confession to make. Yes.
Oh. So Tim, we touched on this, I think, on the last episode when we were talking about rants and inflation and kind of how we've also talked about how we're in a part of our lives where we're trying to get back on track or take back some ownership.
And also your triumphs in your loans and such.
Oh my gosh, my student loans still floating on that one. Just such good news. But I was curious, Tim. I know we talked about our growing up. When we first started the podcast, and we had some stories about our childhood. I get the impression that your family was pretty self-sufficient. Like your dad had a pretty steady job, and did you think of yourself as middle class or poor, or what was your, as a kid, what did you think?
So I came into my family very at a time where they were grown. And my brother was, 10 years old, and my dad and my mom were in their 40s. So they had gotten pretty much in the swing of things, in the swing of adulting, understanding, knowing, growing and everything, and just being able to afford a house and all of that stuff, which is not like it is today. I can't speak for what they would be experiencing today. Yeah. But at the time, I grew up in a 2-parent household. Both of them had jobs. My dad worked at a tire company. And we were not underneath the poverty line, but I wouldn't say that I was I didn't want for school supplies, but I wasn't out here getting the latest Jordans every week.
Sure.
So wherever you want to put that, if you want to put that in middle class, you can. I never felt that though. I always felt very much my parents didn't have it to be given. And maybe that was more me just thinking don't ask because it ain't gonna be it's not gonna be given, or not wanting to be the burden of any kind.
So with that kind of mentality of like you don't really ask because you don't want to be the burden, did you have a sense of being poor or just kind of
I
getting
have
by?
I definitely knew that I was not poor because people around me were like
Sure.
like
Yeah.
I had friends that didn't have food at night, like, but I wasn't Moesha about it. I wasn't out here being like, you
Oh
owe me my
man,
$5.
Moesha, always in her
But
feelings.
like, I wasn't out here being a spoiled brat, but
Yeah,
like, I definitely understood that people had less than I did,
yeah,
and that it was my family were givers, even
yep,
to the point where sometimes it was a little like they didn't have enough because they had given it out.
yeah,
But I never felt poor, mostly because my mother like knew how to cook and she did it every day.
yeah,
And she like the things that I feel like would make you feel like you might be poor as a child, I didn't have those situations.
yeah, yeah.
What about you?
Well, so I have a distinct memory of being told that we were privileged when I was growing up, and it was an incident with my cousin where my cousin and his family were going through a divorce,
Mhm.
and his mom was raising them. They're a so she's a single parent, and times were tough.
Mhm.
And I remember like the cousins would come over occasionally and like we'd have sleepovers and do like, order pizza and stuff. And I
Yeah.
remember my cousin made a comment. He's like, my mom tells me you guys like are rich. That you guys have like, and I know in the moment there was some explanation to him about like what was happening financially at the house and like
Yeah.
why we had things that maybe they didn't or had access to things. And it was one of those moments where I'm like, I don't think we're rich. And,
Yeah.
because you don't have any concept of like finances and money at that age. But I do, in hindsight, I know now that we were definitely what you would call middle class family.
Yeah.
And um, mom and dad having solid jobs and dad being in IT, I know he got paid pretty
Yeah.
well, even in the 80s and 90s. And um, so we were spoiled as shit. Like me and my sisters were terrible, terrible. Because mom and dad
Yeah.
didn't know how to say no. You know what I
Oh,
mean? And you know them. They're givers. Like if you need
yeah.
something, they're
I mean,
giving.
Christmas is,
It's dumb. It's
girl.
dumb.
I.
No. So
But this is not a shade on them. No, not at
no, no, no. It's just they are givers, and we've been blessed that they've had access to things. So, and because of that, kind of growing up and not hearing no,
yeah.
when you get to like a place where they gotta say no, and you're like, wait, my God, like,
What are
um,
you doing? I'm hurt.
why do you hate me? Um, and I think that's why, like, again, I wasn't terrible, but I'm sure I was a spoiled brat at times, and that's why,
I
like,
mean, I've seen the pictures. You look like you were spoiled.
oh, spoiled.
That one where you're like this. Like,
Oh, yada 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 yada. Yeah, no, oh yeah, baby. But I knew like at a young age I wanted a job.
yeah.
I knew that I wanted access to a check. And at 14 in Virginia, if you can prove you got a working license and it's not school year,
Yep.
you best believe I was busting tables at some Italian restaurants at 14. Making money.
Well, maybe not always. Ever since I was like 9, I've always been doing, even before 9, because I was outside like picking string beans and like walnuts to like, I'd be like, you want a 5-gallon bucket of walnuts for $5? You
Mm-hmm.
want this? You want that? And they'd be like,
Yes.
yeah. I'm like,
Yes.
you want me to make a pound cake for $10? I'll do
What?
it. Like I was thinking.
That's selling
I
pound
was
cake.
that girl. I was industrious. I got in trouble at school in 7th grade because I was selling candy.
You hustling? You were hustling.
I was selling candy and I was making good. And I'm not going to say their name, bitch. Like, they told on me because I was making money and putting it in my wooden Bible. Yes, I had a wooden Bible. And
Wow.
I would slide it in there. And the Lord was blessing me, honey.
Yeah.
And they could not take. And so they went and told the teacher.
Oh,
And I was like, are you serious? And
Really?
like, even today, I'm like, why didn't you punish me for being,
Self-sufficient. I don't.
yeah, for
Yeah.
like, maybe, you know what? School isn't built for you to be, that way. They want you to be workers. They don't want you to be entrepreneurs. So that's probably why they wanted to put me back down in my place.
Yeah.
And that's
They
fine.
didn't want to let you
I
fly.
understand that now,
Yeah.
but I still will never forget you, Miss Gravely.
Oh
Forget my,
no, he's
you know
saying
what? Forget you.
names.
I'm not going to tell the person to tow,
Okay. Okay.
but because she has a horrible life now. But like, it's fine.
Come in.
Yeah. And
So
we
Tim,
also have somebody sexually in common. But like,
oh, gotcha. Booty brothers. I know it's fine. It's fine. Booty siblings. My bad. So what's your like first memory of like being an adult and being poor? Like, do you know, like,
as soon as I walked into Radford University,
oh,
and I was like, let me go to the Walmart and get, like some covers. Like, let me go get a pillow because
yeah.
this pillow sucks. So I'm going to go get a pillow. The pillow costs $25. I was like, $25? What
Yeah,
is
man.
this?
Yeah.
And so I ended up having to go to I had to go to like the clearance aisle, and I found one for $5 that was not great at all, but
Yeah.
at least it was two pillows. So I got that. And at the time I was working at CVS as well. So I had a little money. And my parents never paid. Like I didn't allow them to pay for school or college because I was like, if you don't pay for college, you can't ask about college.
Sure.
I was like, I was very aware that like money controls things.
Yeah.
I have control over my life because I afford my own life. And they were proud, whatever, but it stemmed from a lot of like, we got into some arguments as teenagers do.
Yeah.
And the one and only argument that I ever got, they didn't want me to go to school, but I was like, long story short, like we got in an argument. It triggered something in my brain and it never shut off. That like, if I'm going to live my own life the way that I want to, I have to afford it myself.
Yes.
And sometimes that moved me into places where I did not ask for things that I needed, like pillows or like a cover for the twin bed that I had never slept in. Oh my God. But yes, sleeping in a dorm room with a crackhead, that was, yeah.
What?
Yeah, he was on crack.
Wow.
Well, I won't say crack. He was on a drug that was similar to crack.
Okay.
He never said it was crack.
Yeah.
But it looked like crack to me, and I didn't think he made enough money to get the good stuff. So it was what it was. It was in the first semester anyway. I was in the room with him, and he ended up like leaving eventually. But it just cemented that like this this is all I can afford right now. And it wasn't cute for me. But even in that, like I still, being 19 years old and being off at college and affording it myself, I never felt like I needed my parents to bail me out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I knew I wouldn't have that situation. But that is the first time that I was just like, oh, I don't have the money for something.
Yeah.
I can't get what I want because I don't have the money for it yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that was my first adult like feeling, because I lived with my parents until I went off to college. So I didn't have to like want for like the foods and stuff like that. But like when I went to college, it was definitely like, oh, I gotta eat at this cafeteria because I don't have the money to
Oh
go to
man.
McAdoo's every day.
Yeah.
I would make enough money to be able to go on Tuesdays, which was like power hour, and power that hour.
Yep. Oh, the power hour at
Yeah.
McAdoo's.
And I would enjoy that.
God
But
bless
the
them.
rest of the time I would go to McAdoo's, I didn't really get anything, if you notice. I would just sit there.
Yep.
But
Yep.
yeah, what about you? When is the first time you felt
Well, I
hungry?
think again, I had privilege in the fact that when I got to school at Radford, um, I was given my a check card to my
Mm,
parents' account, and
wow.
I think that I think it was a gesture from them, like me going out being on my own. They didn't want me to not be able to pay for something.
Yeah.
So they kind of gave me this, like, you can use it when you need it without a lot of rules around it.
Yeah.
And so what that turned into was, hey, we're going to Mi Puertos. Hey, we're going to McAdoo's. I really abused that, and I'm shocked that they let me do it for as long as I did, to be honest with you.
They were like,
Um,
hey.
Occasionally, Dad would be like, "Saw you at Mi Puertos 7 times this week. If you could back
Not
up,
7 times.
girl."
But
Those,
yeah.
those
Yeah.
lunches with those beers. Anyway,
It was so
so
good.
good.
The arroz con
Shorty,
pollo.
hey Shorty, hope you're doing okay.
Yes. Shout out to
Um,
Shorty.
Shorty. So I spent a lot of my time at Radford with the card, and then eventually the card broke, and I didn't want to ask them for a replacement. I remember thinking, like, I'm good. I need to get off of this.
Yes.
And then there was an incident
That
where,
was the universe telling you something.
yeah, but then also I was in that space where people were giving me credit cards.
Mm.
Like, even if there were low amounts, it still was
Yeah.
access to it. So I remember I found myself in a situation where I was paying my monthly bills, and I realized, like, something wasn't going to get paid. Like,
Hmm.
the cell phone wasn't going to get paid, or Chase wasn't going to get paid.
Yeah.
And I remember I called my mom in tears because I did not want to ask.
Yeah.
It's that feeling. It's like, I don't want to ask.
It's like I'm an adult and I'm
Yeah,
still a
I'm
child. Like,
Dad, I'm calling my mom for money. And so I called her, and she, like, she got me the money, but I remember it was that incident that drove me to take the promotion, and I
yeah.
left school. So while I was in school, I was working at the bookstore,
Yeah.
and it was that incident. I was like, I've got to get independent. I've got to get independent. And so I applied for a bunch of store manager positions at other colleges. I got it pretty quickly, and I dipped. And that's when I went to West Virginia, which is a different podcast. Then
Ooh.
so I went to West Virginia, and that's when I started, like, my professional career, and was like, and it's not like I was making a crazy amount of money in West Virginia, but I was independent.
Yeah.
I was paying
You were
my rent,
self-sufficient. Yeah.
self-sufficient, making
I
food at the
mean,
house, and
rent in West Virginia, but
yeah. It's like I moved to a state where I could stretch that check out. But yeah, it's that embarrassment, and I feel blessed that I went through that, and then I pushed myself forward. I can also appreciate that other people feel that regularly and are not in spaces to exceed, or may not have the skill sets to, like, jump into
yeah.
certain areas that pay that kind of money.
Especially at that time. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like it is now where people are like the IT boom hadn't really happened then. Like
Yeah,
a lot of the
different. Yeah.
the different avenues of like getting a job was very, very different.
Yeah. And the
And
self-made millionaires, the concept of learning everything online, like,
yeah, not at all.
yeah, I've been blessed to have, like, people skills to try to, like, weasel my way into situations, but yeah, I just remember thinking, like, I can't call mom again about the cell phone,
Mhm.
and school's not really schooling anymore, so
Yeah.
your boy's gonna get a job. So yeah, and I've definitely had poor moments since, but those catalysts, just to drive you,
I definitely have had a lot of catalysts. Like, anger really catalyzes me.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It like I had a job in, CVS, and they were very racist, and I just wasn't. I was like, I gotta get out of here and use this degree that I have now. And
Yeah.
so I took a job that paid less to move to Roanoke, and worked my way up from a lab assistant to what I do, a lab tech. And then that was basically people skills. I didn't really have the knowledge or wherewithal to do any of that stuff. Like, it was just, oh, I love you, Tim. Tim is so funny. La 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 la. And that, like, it was an opening, and I was like, hey, girl, like,
Yeah.
help me out. And then that became tiresome and boring, and because of my connection and friendship uh in other classes that I took in college, I found a job in DC. So, like,
Yeah.
it was like most of my catalysts are because of just happenings that just are like, oh, we need somebody, and I'll be like, I gotta go, I'm tired of this
I'm
place.
out. I'm out. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because you ain't gonna do me like this.
Nope, nope, nope.
And I will say that I am very fortunate that the universe has provided me sanctuary
Yeah.
a lot of times, because there are times that I like I didn't know where my next like money was gonna come from, and something opened up, and I was like, okay. So
Jumping in,
yeah.
taking the opportunity when it presents itself.
Yeah, I remember the last time I felt um I almost like I just like I didn't know what to do. Like, I had just moved from my first place that you moved me into in Maryland,
Yep.
and I was moving into a room with these African family,
Yeah.
and I was barely making enough to have that room.
To rent a room, yeah.
Yeah. And so there was one week, there was one, no, there was one month that I couldn't make it. And I had to use like the last of all of my credit cards and stuff was up. Like, I had used up everything. And at this time, my parents were dead and my brother was gone and whatnot. So, like, I didn't have anybody to call. Like,
Yeah.
and the one person that I mustered up enough courage to ask was just like, well, we'll see, and never got back to me. So I slept in my car for maybe 3 weeks. Yeah, like three weeks. I slept in my car and waited till I got another check and got another room for a week, and then I moved to Richmond. So like, yeah.
Did we not have a relationship yet where you could have asked me?
I didn't want to ask you.
Yeah.
Like my parent. Like,
Yeah.
like I didn't. And also, like, you weren't doing great at the time either. Like,
Also true, probably.
yeah, I wasn't gonna, like, I probably could have like asked you, and you probably would have asked your parents. Like, and I was not going to
Go down that road.
I wasn't gonna, like, I love your parents so much, but like
I know. Hey, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. So Tim, I want to ask you, what does sufficient mean to you financially? And I'm yeah, right? Because we've joked about like the dream would be to find somebody who is financially stable and can take care of you, right?
Yeah.
So you're not worried about money and you can do what you want. And although that's an interesting dream, I'm
Yeah.
kind of wondering what the actual goal is there. Is it to just not have to worry about money? Like money just becomes something that isn't a question? Or that, could you live comfortably if you just had everything taken care of and you figure out what you want to do, but do they need to fund everything? Like that daydream, right? So like what is being sufficient? Because is sufficient being like rich, or do you just want to be comfortable? Like,
So that has changed over years. Like,
yeah.
it is a huge conversation I'm always having with myself as I grow and change, even in the past like year and a half. Like, what is sufficient to me?
Yeah.
What is I've made it? What is like I often I really do joke about like I do want somebody to just have all this money and I just feed off of that. But I think I would really get bored and I wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Like I'd be out here on some weekends and be like, damn, what do you do when you're not at work? So like I think that sufficient if for me is if somebody paid the big bills. Like if I like essentially if I was a child again, but not I don't want to be a child again. God, girl.
So tiring.
Yes, it was. It was exhausting being that excited all the time. But like, I can't wait for it. Now it's here, and I'm like, girl.
Could have waited.
But no, like if my house, like if I had a home that was mine that was paid for somehow, like honestly, I don't even want it to be a man that does it for me or a significant other.
Yeah.
I want that for myself.
Yeah.
Like I want a home that I can call my own that nobody can take away. I would like enough money to go on vacation and not think, where's my next check coming from?
Yeah.
And to not have to be so gung-ho about making sure my future is okay. That's what sufficient would be to me. Is like having those things like laid out and like it be automatic.
Yeah.
Like I'm actually starting to get to a place where things are becoming automatic and it's taking a lot of like pressure off of me.
Yeah.
Like my rent, I put it on auto pay. Like that is that's so nice.
You living crazy. I don't even know that life.
My credit cards get paid off
Al does
every
that
week.
shit.
Like
Al does that shit. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm a halfer. Like if it's in my account, I need to pay half of it. Like I need to get it away from me. I can't have it sitting in my account because
so that's the thing is like I have I have different accounts.
Mm-hmm.
So like it goes into my checking account.
Mm-hmm.
My spending that I get goes into the checking account that I use. I don't look at my actual checking account.
Oh,
I'm like, girl, no, because I've automated things so that like I only get $300 a week to spend.
Gotcha. Okay.
So the rest of it gets worked out amongst other, like it automatically goes to, this is my retirement account. This is my, rent. This is my, cleaning lady bill. This is, that it gets out of that, like that type of, I want my whole life like that.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to, if I had like a mortgage that, the problem with me is like, I don't know where I want to be. So
yeah, right.
Yeah, and also like right now, no, you're not going to get me on this 7% interest, because things that cost $700 are now like $1,800. Hell no, not doing that. So I would like to figure out where I want to be as far as like a permanent place, and if I didn't have to like I'm still in the mindset of I need a check every so like I need to know that it's coming.
Yeah.
So like there are some days that I will look at my spending account checking account. I'll be like, yeah, it's getting low. I gotta go to work. Like,
Yeah. Get that motivation to wake up. Yep.
yeah, but it used to be that I would look at my whole checking, like my real checking account, and be like, girl,
Yeah.
like, you know, the light bill is due and you already put it off twice. Like, it was some times where I, you know, was robbing Peter to pay Paul, as my mama used to say, and moving stuff around. And the fact that I don't have to do that anymore, I know that is part of my sufficientness.
Yeah.
Like that's what I want to. I don't want to like think about it. I want to exist. And yes, I would like if it means that I have to work, that's fine. But like I I want to go to work at 5 o'clock in the morning, not 2 o'clock in the morning. Like I want to say I want to be able to be on the phone with, you know, said people, and they say these are the terms that we need, and I'd be like, well, actually, these are the terms that I'm more comfortable with.
Yeah.
And I want them and be able to say, no, that's not going to work for me.
Yeah, man.
And go to the next. Like that's sufficient for me, where I have that like power to say no and do what's really going to be good for me, you know?
Yeah. So can I go on a little bit of a tangent here about a daydream that I always have?
Yeah.
How obviously this daydream relates to you. So as you know, the Mega Millions was what it was recently, right? That 1.5 billion.
Is this why you wanted to talk about money, because you won and you wanna you wanna catch my real?
Can I tell you how bitter I was when they said that ticket was in Florida? I'm like, a Floridian won it.
Like they really need it or deserve it.
I hope it's a black gay in Miami. That's the best I can hope for. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but even girl,
that's the only thing
could
in
be
Florida.
Republican. And
No,
like,
no, you
Florida
know,
is so weird. Like
so weird. But anyway, you know how I stress about even imagining things that aren't even real. So I had been daydreaming like what's gonna happen when I win, because of course I'm gonna win. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow. I'm gonna have the 1.5, and you and I have our agreement in place, right? Yes. Girl, can I tell you all the research I've done about the lawyers? Like I've got like the accountants that they recommend, like all that kind of stuff. I'm like,
I have my CPA and my accountant and my financial advisor on. Yeah,
I'm ready to lock it down, right?
Yeah.
And so the research I also looked into, because in Virginia you don't have to put your name on it if you win more than a certain amount, right? So if I won 1.5,
you can put it in an LLC. Yeah.
Well, not even that. You don't have. They won't publicly announce you if you say no. It was a law.
Really, it used to be that they did.
It was like 2017 or 18. They passed
like many people started dying.
Yeah, if you win more than 100,000, I think it's if you win more than 100,000, they don't publicize your winnings that you have to claim. Yeah. So I was like, sweet. So I'm that person who's not going to tell nobody. Like I don't even know if I'm going to tell Al. I'll just be like, if you want to quit, you can, and I can't tell you why. So like, you know, like there's that. But then you know what I realized, Tim, is that if I want to stay quiet, I can't share it with you.
That's a lie.
If we go in together and claim it together, and one of us has the ticket, we gotta be public. So
this is the thing. All I need is a.
So that's the thing. Like I'm
not telling nobody nothing.
I know. This is so I'm sitting there, I'm going, okay, like, so if I don't want to go public and I need to give half to Tim, like what are the rules about gifting? Right? Because there are a lot of laws about like how much you can gift at a time and the taxes on it. So it's like I went down a rabbit hole. So
Child, it's called. I was stressing. Tim, I need you to create an LLC.
No, I would tell you because you get half. But it was like I gotta.
No, but I'm talking. Yeah, like that's what you do.
Yeah.
You give the money to the LLC.
Is it? We've been studying obviously because we're trying to do all this stuff with the business. But I worked myself up into a frenzy this weekend about what I was gonna do when I won the 1.5.
I mean,
that's how crazy I was.
Honestly, a good check every week would be fine.
I was like, would Tim suffice if I just wrote him $1 million every week and he just like didn't have to
He's giving the best.
Anyway, the fake things we do. So Tim, we were talking about, in the front half of the podcast about the struggles. And you've kind of talked a little bit now about what you're doing now to manage your money and how you put things in areas. If somebody came to you and was asking for advice, about what you would do if you were them, and what are some of those things you think of that would be helpful to know? Now that you're closer to 40 than 30, not that you are, but in theory, let's say that you were.
Yeah.
What advice would you?
Oh no, I'm 36, people. This is what 36 looks like.
Yes. Oh, look at you outing your age. This
is what 36 looks like, baby.
Yeah.
And if it don't look like that, you're not eating enough water-based things.
I can't wait to be 21 in November and be able to go to the bars and have a good time. I'm so excited.
I just want you to be free.
Fix your face.
I wish freedom upon you.
Freedom.
I do.
True. What advice you got for the kids?
It's funny because for some reason, a lot of people ask me these questions. The first thing I would say is know how much you're getting a month. Know what your bills are.
Yeah.
Know what you have to pay. And being that maybe that's, your housing, food, transportation to your job. Know how much you're spending on that. Yep. Know what your non-negotiables are. You need your Netflix, you need that Starbucks, you need that, that therapist. Know how much that stuff costs, and then look and see how much you're making. If it suffices and it is enough to cover all of that, then I suggest you get an emergency fund. You start with an emergency fund, because there's no point in paying down your debt and then something happens and you're back where you were.
Yeah. Yeah.
You need to have, some money set aside. If it's nothing but $1,000, and I know nothing but that sounds like, a lot coming from, some people who aren't making $1,000 a month, but most people, an emergency nowadays costs you. For example, I'm having some car issues, and so I'm going to Goodyear, and they are sending me a quote for some car trouble issues that I have, and that's probably going to be more than $1,000 that I'm going to have to put into it. And fortunately for me, I have that emergency fund. Otherwise, I would have to dip into other things.
Yeah.
And try to make, it's just very stressful trying to figure out where you're going to pull that emergency money from if you don't already have it stacked in some way.
Yeah.
But those are the first things I would do. And then from there, I would definitely look into what do you want? What do you want out of your finances? What do you want to feel like? Do you want to feel like you can go out to eat and, get gas money and all this other stuff? Do you want to feel like you can go on vacation whenever you want to? Or do you just feel like, you just want to live. Some people want to live paycheck to paycheck, and that's fine. Like if you were like, I want to spend all my money because I never know when I'm gonna die. That's fine. That's you. That's your life. But you just have to figure those like ideas out about what you want your life to feel like.
Yeah, no, figuring out your goals is a
Yeah.
huge part of it.
Yeah.
I found out, I kind of figured out my game a couple years ago where I have what I call the bonus checks.
Hmm.
So because of the way we get paid in June and December, I have an extra check in the month.
Yeah.
And
It's fun.
it's so much fun.
For
It's like,
me, it's every like 3 months. I get
oh,
every
bless
check.
you. Yeah, no, I get those bonus Friday checks, and it's like, and I let myself do what I want with it.
Yeah.
And sometimes those bonus checks just go to a credit card, right?
Mhm.
Go to a piece of debt that I just need to take care of.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like we're going to Iceland, and
Yeah.
bonus check is Iceland check. And once I got that figured out, like there's something about figuring out that money is coming and available,
Mhm.
that the 6 months between, I can pay my stuff, I can
Yeah.
stay in my limits.
And that's why I say figure out like what is actually coming in and what is going out. Like
Yeah.
that portion is probably a good 40% of the battle.
Yeah, yeah. Understanding what you have and what you don't
Yeah,
have
exactly.
will
And
go a
it's
long
okay
way.
not to like it. A lot of people don't want to do it because, listen, I, ignorance is bliss sometimes.
Mhm.
Like just being like, oh, I don't know about my finances, and I wasn't taught that, so I just had this life. That is very like, it's not a blissful life to experience, but not where you're going to go from there between trying to figure it out and where I am right now is very hectic.
Yeah.
And it's very like it gets muddy before it gets clear.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
because you can overwhelm yourself very quickly
Yeah.
and just be like, forget it. I don't want to know. Um, but it does get better if you want to figure it out.
Amen.
And yeah, like I said, yeah, make sure you are just trying to get that emergency fund up
Yeah.
because
Have something in the backup in case you need it, and
yeah,
go from there for sure.
definitely. Do you have any tips or anything that you?
Yeah, be aware, educate yourself, ask your friends like Tim who are doing the hard work and learning this shit, so that when you go, I don't want to pay this credit card, he's like, negotiate the fee,
Yeah,
negotiate. Like I just didn't. I When you don't know you're empowered,
yeah.
like just being aware. So
That's the thing though. Like I think also that tip is like you are more empowered than you think you are.
yeah, for sure.
Especially nowadays where things like interest is very, very high. But it's also high in banks. So putting your money away, you
Yeah,
get very good savings. You get very good interest. Well, in comparison, you're getting pretty good interest right now. If
yeah.
you were to save that, if you were to start your emergency fund, you would be getting a good interest on it.
I got somebody who paid me super early for a wedding.
Hmm.
So the wedding's in November, and that November wedding is part of my Iceland trip money.
Hmm.
And she paid me super early. And so I've
Nice.
got this big chunk, and I'm like, if I got money, it's got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Usually I spend it, right? So I threw that into my high yield savings, and it is just hanging out over there.
Hmm.
And so we get to Iceland, and I can pull that
Yeah.
out. I might make a few bucks off of it, but yeah,
Yeah.
having that high yield savings is really, really helpful for sure.
Literally, I have a higher savings account that's 4.9% right now.
Yep.
And I'm like, I look at that interest and I'm like, damn, this is what people are like. I look at my little amount that's in there. And
Uh-huh.
I think about like Bill Gates.
Yeah.
Well, not Bill Gates. Is he rested? I don't know. But
One of them.
but yeah, one of those rich people. And I'm like, God, they probably just have $1 million just sitting in a high yield savings account collecting every month. It's just like, I'm like, damn, girl.
Yeah,
Bitch. Like,
that's nice.
some people are getting $49,000 a year to just because they have money in the bank, and then other people are getting $49,000 a year because they're working their ass off.
Busting their ass. God bless. All right, Tim. It's that time of the episode. You got somebody you want to shout out this week?
Yes, I want to shout out my good Judy, Tony. Happy birthday. It is your 90th birthday, and I love you so much. You don't look a day over 75. The truth is, people, he is a lot younger than that.
Much younger. Tony is quite younger and very cute.
Yes. You heard it. Bear's in love with Tony.
Love Tony.
But yeah, shout out to him. His birthday was yesterday, but yeah, happy birthday to him. What about you? You got a shout out?
I do. We've got 2 shout outs, Tim, because we got 2 emails. There it is. There's a soundbite. First one is from Mars. Hi, my name is Mars. I'm gender fluid. Any pronouns for me, and pansexual. Yes, Mars. I recently came across your podcast via TikTok, and I gotta say, I'm absolutely in love with it.
Oh,
Mars, thank you so much. That's so sweet.
Oh, we love you.
All right, and then we've got another email. This is from one of our fraternity brothers, Tim. Let's see. Hi, y'all. I just wanted to say I'm pretty sad. I was pretty sad yesterday. I'm not sure what episode it was when you were talking about not being able to sing songs that you could have when you were younger.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, thank God I'm not there yet. Well, yes. Okay, Steve.
I don't see the part of the sadness. Get to the sadness. No, I'm just
Stevie D says, well, yesterday on my way home from work, I was humbled when my girl Alicia Keys came on with the song If I Ain't Got You.
Oh, that's a hard song.
We know where this is going. Moral of the story is don't judge your older brothers because we're all old at some point.
Oh,
love y'all. Please keep singing on the podcast. We love it. With love,
my God.
Your brother Stevie D. Steve,
if I got you.
Oh, don't embarrass him now. Don't embarrass him. Oh, just running all over your face. Oh.
Well, you know. I'm not where I used to be. I used to be, maybe an octave higher than that. But what I can give, I give to you, Stevie.
Oh, love you, Stevie. Thank you, brother. Tim, what's making you live this week?
Well, this is gonna be maybe a little controversial, but I was watching someone outside my window giving a blowjob, and they were not doing a very good job at it.
Oh,
and
no.
It was quite funny to me. So that it gave me a little laughter, and I live for that.
That would give me some life. I get that. Yeah.
Yeah. And the fact that it's like right by this suburb, I'm
like, come on, girl.
Nice. Like, damn, girl, where's the crack? How much does the crack cost, girl? Anyway.
Oh.
So what are you living for, girl?
What am I living for? I am living for, and just like that. I gotta say, Tim, we haven't talked about it on the podcast yet. I'm sure we will at some point. But yeah. I know some people were cold on the first season. Maybe they don't like change. Maybe they were getting used to the new girls.
I think it was more like they were trying something different than what they are this season.
Yeah, I think whenever you do some major facelift like that, and I don't mean that in a derogatory. I'm just being,
wow, what I mean? Girl.
But would you give?
And you call me ageist.
Wow, I didn't. That's not what I meant. Man, that was Freudian. But would you make a big change like that to canon that people really worship?
Yeah.
I think you're probably going to get some static. I don't hear that static this season.
No, because it's a completely different story now.
Yeah, we know these characters. We know where they're going.
But it's almost like they're different characters, though. Like, I don't think of Miranda as Miranda anymore. You know,
well, we need to dive into this specifically on another thing because we don't. I actually don't agree with that. But I think of it as it's a different story in a good way. Sure. Oh, yeah. I think. Okay. I think it's good. And I think whoever was...
If you want to listen to us talk about And Just Like That, follow us on Patreon. No, I'm just kidding.
Touche. But I absolutely love it. It's giving me weekly entertainment. There's so many other things out right now that used to give me entertainment that are just bad. Like, none of the geek stuff is really working anymore for me. But you know what? And Just Like That is showing up, and I fucking love it. So, mwah, thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate that.
Oh, I want to, speaking of TV, I want to shout out Survival of the Thickest. Yeah. I watched that, in 2 days. It was so good. Michelle Berteau.
That sounds right.
It was so good. I love, our thickness being on TV, telling the stories. And I want more of it, and I can't wait until the writers get what they are supposed to have and they can come back to work.
Yeah.
Not when it's over, but I want to know that they're getting what they are meant to get because they're out here doing great work. So
pay them.
Tell people what they're worth.
Where can people find us, Tim?
You can find us anywhere you can find titties. You can find them on your chest right here. You can find them on Twitter. Yes. You can find them on, just about anything. You can find them in church. Mm-hmm. And most importantly, you can find us at cubandchub.com.
That's right, cubandchub.com, everybody. If you want to send us a message, please do. You can email us at wearecubandchub@gmail.com. Again, wearecubandchub@gmail.com. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Tim, it's so good to talk to you as always, baby.
You too. I love you so much. Can't wait to see you soon.
That's right. Everybody, enjoy the rest of your week. We'll see you next time.
Bye.